Mm. Good evening, good evening, good evening. It is your girl, Yvonne Michele, and I'm back. Yes, I am. We took a week off last week because last week was a very, very busy week, and I had a few things to sort out. And if you didn't know, if you were hidden under a rock, or I don't know, you were away or whatever, you may not know that I won an award last week. Yes, I did. I won Woman of Influence of the Year. It was a Powerhouse Global Award. So yeah, very, very exciting. And so yes, that's what happened last week. Um, so tonight's show is going to be very, very interesting. I've got a great lineup for you, and we have Theo here. Theo's going to be coming in. Theo's one of our long-term panel members, and Theo is going to be hosting the show with me this week. So, what can I tell you? What announcements do I have for you? Well, I have a couple of announcements to make. One is to save the date, which is the 12th of June. I am putting on a live event. Some of you know or may not know that I am a singer, and I have decided that I'm putting on a live concert, live band, everything on the 12th of June. It's a Sunday afternoon, evening, and it's going to be incredible. There's going to be food, there's going to be people, there's going to be alcohol, there's going to be lots and lots of lovely things going on. And it's my birthday. It's actually my birthday next week, Tuesday. Hello. So there will be no show next Tuesday, and the following Tuesday, the 31st, I also will be at a wedding. My cousin is getting married, and I'm singing at the wedding, so I won't be here either. So we're going to have 2 weeks off, and we'll be back in June. Yes, we will. Anyhow, we're going to get on with tonight's show. Tonight's show is going to be very, very juicy. And before I bring in Theo, what I want you to do is share this. Share this with your networks. Share it, share it, share it. Share it. Share it. The wrong one. Share it, share it, share it. As I am sharing all of my bits and pieces, I am sharing them out right now. That sounds a bit naughty, doesn't it? I'm sharing my bits and pieces. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to bring in our Theo, and I'm going to bring him in so we can get into tonight's show. So here we go. Here we go. Hi, Theo.
Good evening, young lady. How are you?
I'm all right.
It's a lot of
I
here,
do
man.
what I do. You know how it goes.
Yeah, it's a lot of
I'm
here, isn't
good.
it?
How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. I don't normally see your hair down, so it's a lot.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I normally have it up, right?
Up, yeah. So wow. So that's a
Yeah,
lot of
I
hair.
couldn't be bothered.
You got a strong neck.
Yeah, it's well, yeah. I suppose it's when it's up, I don't really notice it. Really, to be fair,
It's all good.
it's all
So
good.
how? Anyway, I heard you doing all the big chat and all that stuff. All the stuff you were talking about, and Yvonne Michele and all that. Let's just get into the show. So well done.
Thank
Well
you,
done.
thank
Well done.
you
You never know what I'm saying well done for. What am I saying well done for? You the same
for
thank you.
being my fabulous self. That's what.
This woman. No, well done on your award, the Woman of Influence.
Yes, I know. It's
What
crazy,
what
isn't it?
Yeah, what was the actual event? What was this? What was the event about? What was the event?
This was the Powerhouse Global Summit and Awards. So I got a message, actually. I didn't even know that I was nominated for an award. I got a message, an email to say, well, no, it was actually first it was Messenger and then it went to email. I had a
Okay.
Messenger uh, message to say, could we have your email address? So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, which is nothing unusual. So I
Yeah.
just gave up my email address, and then I got the email to say that I have been nominated for an award, um, and had won the award for Woman of Influence. So yeah, I was just like, oh, okay,
So is
that's.
that to do with your social media, or is that to do with your life coaching, or is it a combination of both?
I think it's a combination of um, with what happened during COVID, with the After Dark
After dark, yeah.
show, with the morning inspiration, and I think it
Oh yeah, I forgot
was
about that.
part of the because there's morning inspiration, and there's
Mm.
also the fact that I sing as well. So I've done some singing online as well. So I think it was the whole
Oh,
picture.
package.
They
Oh,
thought,
well
yeah,
done.
yeah, thank you.
It's you
Like
don't think people are watching, isn't it? And then all of a sudden you get this call or text. You don't think
absolutely,
people are watching you. So yeah, that's a good thing for people to actually realize that people are watching
yeah.
you.
Because I didn't.
Yeah,
It was very much a surprise. I didn't. I kind of like do what I do, and whether you get some weeks you get a great response, another
yeah,
week you
yeah.
you will hardly get any, and it is what it is. I mean, during the lockdown, we were pulling in, 1,500, sometimes 2,000 people watching. So I
Wow.
knew that
Yeah,
that was especially like more on Facebook than anywhere else.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and so you just don't know. You just
No,
don't know
yeah.
how or what people want to watch. So because we've had one of these shows and we've had a 5,000 hit of
Is it?
views.
I didn't
Yeah,
even know those kind of numbers was being hit. I'm just going by the little few comments that you see here, so I don't realize
yeah,
that so many people are watching. Fantastic.
yeah. So you kind of like it's kind of up and down. So but in terms of those kind of organisations, I don't think that they were watching. I just
Yeah,
do what I do,
yeah.
and it's really not about being recognised in that. Well, not for me anyway. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
really about being recognised, especially like in the lockdown. I just saw that there was a gap. People
Yeah.
were struggling. How are people going to cope? How are we going to interact with each other? And I just got online and just started talking.
And so 2 years later, you're getting award. Did you have to do a speech? Did you do one of those speeches like the Oscar speech and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But I
I
think
thank this person, thank God, and the whole my sister, my brother, my cousin, my auntie, everybody. No,
everybody, yeah.
did I get
Because
a mention in there? Did I get a mention? No.
the only
Let's
person I
let me
mentioned
come off. Let me come off. Let me come off.
well, I have the award here. The award is
Let me
here.
see it. Let me see it.
It's the award
Oh, it's
here.
quite big as well. It's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. So
Oh,
the award is here. But I dedicated this to my mum because it
oh,
would have
nice.
been my mum's 85th birthday.
Wow.
And obviously the story that my mum died when I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
11.
yeah.
And so I dedicated it to her because one of the things that I always felt, even in my adult life, is would she be proud? Would
Yeah,
she be proud?
yeah.
And if you know my backstory, I had my son when I was 16, and my mum had already passed away by that time. And there was all this
Mm,
talk, that, be having be, and,
yeah. Especially
I think
back in
I
the
was
day
like,
when you had child young
yeah,
and all that, it's a big talk.
yeah. And so, the older ones, God bless them, sometimes they don't understand the power that they have when they
Mm,
speak words over young people. And so some really horrible derogatory things were spoken, and I carried that for a long time, and
wow.
was always like striving to do better,
Yeah.
striving to do more. Always, it was always that, I've got to prove myself, I've got to prove myself. And I often wondered, would my mum be disappointed in how I turned out, the
Yeah.
choices that I've made, and so I dedicated this. I actually dedicated it to her before I got the award, and when I got the award, I did give a speech and dedicated it to her. And the amount of people that came up to me and say, "Your mum would be so proud of you. Your
Of
mum is
course she
proud of
would be.
you."
Of
Yeah,
course.
Yeah. And
Of course
so,
you do.
I know that she is, she's looking down from wherever she is, her spirit is there, and she's looking down and she's like, yeah, that's somebody
That's
said,
my girl.
yeah, somebody actually wrote that on Facebook. She said, your mum's looking down at you and say, that's
That's
mine.
my girl. Of
Yeah,
course, any
yeah,
parent would be happy. As a parent, if a child wins something and you see that they're putting the work in, it's not like they just got in it because they just their name. They've gotten it because they've worked. You're gonna be happy.
yeah,
That's what every parent want their child to be happy and doing well, and not in no problems. So yeah, well done. Kudos to you,
yeah.
man. What did your children say?
Yeah, they're like, wow, like really, my mum, you're doing bits, man. You're doing,
Yeah,
and they were like, but you kept it so quiet, it's so low key, and that's a thing that I'm having to adjust and learn, because I think in life you kind of like you have these achievements, but for
mm,
me, it's like to be recognized from someone else. So I kind of just go from one thing to another. So
yeah,
I'm doing this, I'm doing the show, I'm doing this show, I'm singing here, I'm doing that. And for my children, it's like, okay, so now that you've got this, and this isn't the first award that I've got. I have to say I have multiple awards. I've got awards on the back of me as well. But this has great significance for me.
yeah.
This one does. It does have great significance for me. But they're like, we want you to just stop. We just want you to stop for 5 minutes and just notice how you feel about this award. Because
Yeah,
we've seen
yeah.
you win things before. You just, yep, thanks, nice.
Move
Next.
on. Yeah,
Take a moment and absorb it. And the response that I've had on social media from this award has been incredible.
yeah. I've seen
So
that too.
yeah, like, I'm like, oh my God, like 1 minute, and then the next minute it was like, hundreds of
Yeah,
people and
yeah.
comments and stuff. So yeah, it's been really, really nice and really interesting. It's been different this time. So I've actually taken a moment.
Because we don't do that in life often enough. We don't actually appreciate. We're so busy looking for the next challenge, the next step,
Yeah.
and don't actually just enjoy the fact that you've achieved something. Because not everybody gets to achieve something or to appreciate it.
Yeah.
And you've
And that,
deserved it because you've been putting in those hours, man.
yeah, it's true. It's funny because my daughter, I do this. I'm here, and like my daughter's normally next door, whatever.
Yeah.
And so she sees the graft.
Mm.
And like sometimes she's gone to bed, and I'm still
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're
playing, I'm
putting in the
still
work,
sorting
man.
it out. And she's like, Mum, you really need to take a moment and really just sit with this, because you put some work in, especially through the lockdown,
Yeah,
of just keeping people going. It's just,
yeah,
it might not be about having £100 million business
yeah,
or anything like that, but you've actually helped people to keep going.
yeah,
You've helped people through their mental,
yeah.
um, mental health and stuff like that. She says you've been there,
You've
and
done
if
it.
you're not online, you're on the phone.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
constantly helping people. So yeah, so it is
Nice.
nice, and for them to see this. My
Yes.
daughter's like, at last, kind of thing. Yeah, this is
Somebody's
throughout the
recognized.
pandemic. This,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because you
this
were,
really
because you got to remember, 2 years every Tuesday.
every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday. I came on, I didn't realize it was 2020. I thought it was 2021. It was 2020 when
Yeah,
I came on.
yeah.
It's every Tuesday from June. Well, pretty much like now.
Yeah, it was like from when was it? April,
Yeah,
May time. It started, but it was
yeah.
more like a smaller group. It was more like a little meet up,
It
and
was
then
on
it.
it was on Zoom, little small
Yeah,
thing on Zoom. And I remember joining around this time towards the end of May.
yeah,
And then it's just like every Tuesday since then it's been
yeah,
non-stop,
yes.
culminating with the little meetup at the Hilton down there. And was it the Holiday Inn? It was the Holiday Inn, isn't it?
Yeah,
Holiday Inn,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. And we've got
That's
another one coming up October.
there you go. And that's all down to you. Just sitting in your room saying, you know what? Let me have a talk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
talking is powerful.
it
It
is
really
definitely
is.
powerful. You've done well, man. You've done well. So well done to you. So you know what? I have to ask you a question. How do you keep up with all the social media? Because I will go on and you'll be on the live on Facebook, and I don't know if does it come on Instagram. I'm not too sure. I just see it pop up. Yvonne Michele. I'm like, how does she? How do you maintain all of that?
Okay, so the thing is, I had to learn really quickly during the lockdown, because I'm quite analytical and I'm quite methodical, so I like
Mm.
things to run a certain way. And so I was like, right, so I want it on Facebook, I want it on YouTube, I want it on Instagram, I want it on LinkedIn, I want it on all
Yeah.
platforms. So I had to find a way of doing that. And the only platform that's separate from the LinkedIn, the Facebook, and it is Instagram. That's the one that's different. So
Mm.
Instagram, so like I've got a screen here. So like we're on here today.
Yeah.
There is a way of connecting you and I on Instagram and running it on Instagram.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
a
Yeah. Yeah.
way. And still running it on
StreamYard.
this
Yeah.
StreamYard. There is a way. But the problem that you have is that sometimes you get a lot of feedback
Yeah.
or a lot of distortion. So what I basically do is I just use a StreamYard when I'm doing interviews. If I'm doing a live, then I'm live in it via StreamYard and I'm doing it on Instagram on a separate computer. I will do that.
That's a
And that,
lot.
yeah, yeah,
And
it is.
how do you keep up with the comments and all that stuff? Because it's a lot. It's just a lot. I see. I'm like, that's too much
So,
for me.
so as you can see, right, you've got God's Girls who's left a
Yeah.
comment to say
Yeah.
congratulations on winning the awards. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you
Yeah.
very, very much. Yeah, for that. Thank you, God's Girl, for that. Thank you very much. So you on the streaming platform that you have,
Mm.
there's a separate part, so it comes up. So I'm used to running and talking, running the show and talking at the same time and managing it. And then what
Yeah.
happens is
Mm.
all of the feeds are connected. So um,
Mm.
unless like for YouTube comments come up on here as well. The only ones that
Yeah. Yeah.
don't come up so much is the groups. So I would have my phone, and my phone will come up, and then
Yeah.
so it's the phone, the computer, and the iPad.
You're busy, man.
Yeah,
And during the week as well, you're on. You're like today. You did about 2 or 3 lives
yeah.
today.
Well,
So even just
it's
maintaining all that, just doing all those different lives. Like every morning you're doing a live, and I'm just like, how do you like keep that going? Like keeping it going and responding as well to everybody as well. That's to me, that's a lot. Like every day you putting out a live and this, I'm like, boy, that's a lot.
well, I haven't been doing so many lives since February. I've had to
Mm,
cut down on the lives because I have a stalker.
yeah.
So because I have so there's some safety elements that I've had to put in place.
Mm, mm.
So there are lives like today I did 2 lives and they
Yes.
were live, and it's the
Yes.
first
Remember
time that I've done a
you said
live
yeah.
for a while, and it
Mm,
felt good because it's on the go.
yeah.
It's in the moment, so you're
Yeah.
kind of like the energy's up and you've got something to say. Whereas what I've been doing is I've been either using repurposing old material, or
Mm,
I've been out recorded and then got that video and then repurposed it onto the streaming
okay.
platform so it looks live,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's not live. And
Okay.
that's to maintain my safety so that, I'm not in whatever place at
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
time. But yeah, today I'm just a bit fed up of it. I'm such a free spirited person.
Mm,
I'm finding this really, really difficult to not be me.
yeah.
And so I've just said, no, I'm not. Today I'm like, yeah,
Kudos to you, man. Kudos to you. So I know people are tuning in. What's going on? So what's happening today is I want to know Yvonne Michele. I know Yvonne, but not everybody knows Yvonne Michele. Everyone sees you on since 2020. You're on every Tuesday after dark, and it's just growing into this big beast of a show where, as you said, I didn't even know so many people are watching, and now you've been awarded for it. So some people want to know who's Yvonne Michele. So take me back, take us back, not too far back, but take us
yeah,
back to when because you're a singer, right?
yeah,
You used to sing professionally
yeah.
back in the day. So roughly how many years ago, 20, 30 years ago, you was professional singing, touring and stuff like
Right.
that?
So the professional singing came. I would say gospel singers incognito was for me the place where the professional singing came into play. I've always sung. I've sung as a child, and then I stopped for periods of time. So I would, you know, like when my son died, my son passed away. He would have been 25. I didn't sing. I didn't sing a note for like 5 years.
Wow.
Not a note,
Wow. Wow.
because I was so sad in my spirit. I was just sad, and so yeah, it was about 5 years I didn't sing, and then I went to a church actually because I was brought up in a church,
Mm.
and then I got big in it, big somebody.
Big
Me
somebody,
no
yeah, man. I mean,
I don't need to go to yeah. So I was invited to my cousin's ordination. I didn't even know he's been
okay,
ordained at the time, but I went to his ordination and ended up giving my heart to God. That was it. It was such
okay,
an intense moment, and so from there, because people kind of knew that I could sing, it was
yeah.
like sing a song. And I remember singing Amazing Grace at an event, and it was
Ooh.
this same cousin who became a pastor said sing, and I sang Amazing Grace and cried the whole way through. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. It was literally like, when you're crying and the boogers
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it, yeah, it was like that.
yeah. Beautiful. That's like music to a pastor's ears. Like, oh, we got one. We got one.
Come and sing us song. Give us a
Come on,
rendition.
yeah. And then you
So
break
I
down, they're
played
like, yep,
a
the Lord's
rendition.
definitely working on her, boy.
Yeah, it was terrible. And so after that, I went started going to church, and they were like, come sing in the choir. They would have me in the choir, and they would give me leads to sing, and and it was great, and I really enjoyed it. And the thing is, the personality that I have is I am actually quite a shy person. I kind of step back away, but then there's a part of me that's like, I'm here.
Yeah,
So the shyer part of me is like, I don't want to be seen. I want to hide away. I don't want anyone
yeah,
to
yeah.
notice me. But then when I went to church, what would happen is the microphone kept being passed to me. Come on, you know how it is, isn't it? Come on,
Yeah,
sister.
I know.
Come on, sing a song.
We're gonna work that until you're tired of it, man. We're gonna work it.
Yeah. So I sang, and I kept singing, and I kept singing. And then I would have people ask me, could you sing at my wedding? Can you sing at the
Oh,
christening? Can you sing
okay.
this? Can you sing? And so I'll be like, yeah, yeah, no problem. And from there, I then would say, right, I'll get a few people together. I've got this singing
Yeah.
thing, and this is back in the day. And they would sing, and we would, go as like a four
Hmm.
of us go and sing, keyboard player, done. And then it just grew and grew. And then what happened was I was really tired of church. I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to keep it so real. I
Yeah,
was
keep it real, man.
so tired of church. I was tired of the, oh, look at where you put on weird, and all the kind of
The comments.
comments.
Hmm.
And I just thought, I said to God, surely there's more to this. And what is it that you would want me to do? So in the end, I started doing a thing called Gospel in the Pub. And I
Okay.
was running, yeah. So and I did this for years now. Gospel in the Pub, running the event, live music, singers, and it grew and grew. So I did it in Bedford and I did it in Luton. So we had two different places of doing it, and it was really good, and people really loved it. And we'd get people from the streets just walking in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
They've got nowhere to go. No one is looking at them and or paying them any mind. Or you would have people who were drunk. You would have people in the
yeah,
pub, and they'd love it. And it was a really, really powerful ministry. So that's how Gospel Singers Incognito, that's how it really started. It started at Gospel in the Pub, and then I met Gail Windrash,
yeah.
and Gail was doing something similar. And Gail approached me and said, should we do it together? And so I said,
Hmm.
okay. And so then we created this Gospel Singers Incognito. And then we were approached by Britain's Got Talent. Yeah, I'm going to give away the secret. And we went on Britain's Got Talent, and we were semi-finalists.
Ooh, well
And this
done.
was, yeah, thank you. And this was before the Golden Buzzer.
Yeah.
This was 2013. So I've gone you know, way back to come forward, and we
Yeah.
ran that company. So that company was running before 2013 was when we did Britain's Got Talent, and we had already been running for about 4 years by that time,
Okay. So he was
5 years.
established.
Yeah,
Mm.
so we had been running. We'd done quite a few gigs and been, you know, but once we did Britain's Got Talent, it opened the door, and we got to travel. We travelled. We've been abroad. We've done. We worked for Coca-Cola for 4 years
Oh
on
wow.
contract with them. Yeah, we worked with Lucasade. We've worked with some real top brands doing music. Bupa. We were on an advert and all sorts.
Mm-mm. You got
Yeah,
living
so
the life.
yeah, so it was a really good stretch, and then we parted company, and Gail went her way, and I went mine, and then and now it is what it is today.
Mm.
So I have Incognito Gospel Choir. That's what it's called now.
Okay.
So I changed the name slightly. So I have Incognito Gospel Choir. That still goes on, and that runs on the sidelines, and I sing solo now. I don't so much sing in the choir anymore. I just run that. And then
Because
yeah.
I know you do. I know you do events. Because as you said, you got your party coming up on the
Yeah,
12th.
I do, yeah.
Are you going to be singing at
So
your party?
yes, I am headlining that
I
event.
should hope so.
Yeah. Well, this is another bane of contention for my children, because they see me and they say, "Mum, you're always putting other people before yourself. You're always
Yes.
giving someone else the platform. You're always, oh, meet this person, they do this, the other," and they're saying it's your time. It's your time to do
Yes, it
something.
is.
So
That's right. Time to step up, man. Time to step
yeah,
up. It's not
yeah,
even step up, just step out and be on the forefront. The church is the most critical venue in the world. That's right, Western Goddess.
it's true.
It can be very critical.
Yeah, it's very judgmental.
Very, very.
Um,
Certain churches are very,
yeah,
especially the old school churches are very,
definitely, definitely.
very too busy watching, not watching themselves, not
That's
forgetting
right.
that, you know,
And I think they've got
fun
big
points back
plans.
at you. Yes, that's right. If anybody's got any questions they'd like to ask Yvonne, please put them in the chat. You can put them in the chat and it'll come up there. We can ask Yvonne any questions. No questions are off limit. I'm putting it out there. Everyone doesn't even know this, but nothing's off limits, and she can't plead the fifth or no comments and all that. We're putting her on the spot. She likes to put everybody else on the spot. So let's put Yvonne on the spot, make her sweat for a little bit, and see
All
what
right,
she says. Yeah, look, she's like, yeah, I'm up
it's
to that. I can
fine.
handle that.
It's
I
fun
can
now.
handle that. Look,
Now that you said
she's
that.
already fanning herself now. She's gonna say it's the
Oh,
menopause.
God,
She's gonna say it's the
pressure.
menopause and all that stuff.
Yeah, pressure. The pressure's on. Let me get my little fan. Yeah, cool down.
So,
But yeah, I'm open to
how
answering
did you
any.
get into life coaching? So, what made you want to become a life coach? Because you do life coaching, right, and stuff
I
like that.
do. Do you know what? My background is hairdressing.
Yeah,
So I ran a hairdressers for years.
yeah,
And
this is a good chatting place.
yeah, it is. When you've got a client in the chair,
Yeah,
they often confide in you as a hairdresser.
yeah,
It's a bit like a barber shop. So
yeah,
we have some crazy conversations and I just remember, saying to my cousin that once I hit 50, I want to retire from hairdressing. And she was like, why? It's a lucrative business, blah, blah, blah.
mm,
And it was actually, I would say before COVID, I don't know how it is now, but I know before COVID it was, and I was still doing a bit before COVID had happened. And she said to me, I think you should, my cousin, one day she was helping me in the salon and she said to me, I think you should be a counsellor. And I was like, I just don't see myself as a counsellor.
mm.
In my head, back then, we're talking 2011, 2012.
Yeah,
Back then, I was just like, I can't see myself sitting there with a pen and paper,
yeah.
glass at the end of my nose, taking notes.
Bit much like what you do now, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, you're right. So, yeah. So she was talking about that, and she's like, "Well, you're in the hairdresser business, and people gravitate to you. They talk to you. They tell you their issues, and you help them. So why not
Mm,
get paid for that?"
yeah,
So I didn't fancy being a counsellor, but I liked the idea of being a coach. And so I went to see Anthony Robbins, Unleash the Power Within, in 2012. That conference was a 5-day conference. that changed my life. It changed me
Oh,
completely.
yeah.
The way that I was thinking about myself changed completely as well. I then started to realize that I can do anything that I put
Mm,
my mind to, that I can achieve, and the only person that stops me from achieving is me. So I was like, what do I want to do? And I saw this big, tall, white guy with a big mouth full of teeth. And I'm looking at him and I'm seeing what he's doing. He's on stage. Stage is
mm,
where you see, I love the stage.
yeah,
I love
that's
the
your
stage.
comfort zone.
Yeah. Even though it's sometimes not comfortable, but I just love that stage, the feeling, the euphoria that
Yeah.
you get from being on stage. I love that. And so I was looking at him and I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to be like him.
Mm,
I want to be a female version, a black female version of him. So not
okay.
him, but something similar.
Something similar to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so I then started to find out, what does he do? What tools does he use? And how
Mm,
does he navigate himself through life? And I realized that he had done like NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming. So I went and I did a course in that. He also studied hypnotherapy, so I studied hypnotherapy. Um,
okay.
and he also runs a coaching company. So I was like, okay, I need to find out about coaching, and that's exactly what I did. So everything that he did, I then mastered, and then
Mm,
I'm like, well, I want to do public speaking, so I did a course in that. So I just immersed myself
yeah.
in learning, and that was 2012, 2013,
Wow.
2014. So I travelled. I went to not Germany, to Turkey. Done a public speaking course there. NLP master practitioner in Scotland. Yeah, so I
Wow.
travelled
So
to learn
you
these things.
traveled
Yeah,
because people you know what it is because people see you and they say, "Oh, she's just it's just Yvonne and she's just on so." Because some people just on social media they just pop up and they start talking, but they actually haven't put any work in. They just
yeah.
started to talk. You've actually gone out and
Oh
put
yeah.
some work
I
in. You
studied.
traveled, you spent lots of money because these things are not cheap.
No, 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 no. I
Yes.
made an investment in myself,
Yeah.
and I needed, because I felt like I needed to learn. Listen, I left school with
Mm,
no qualifications. I had a
yeah.
GCSE PE, which was one because I could run. I was a very, very good runner in physically and emotionally, financially,
Yes.
every alley. I was good at running. I run from
Mm.
everything, responsibility, to run from everything. I did. And so that's the only thing I left school with. So I was like, what am I going to do? So after I had my son at 16, I used to be able to plait hair. I used to plait and cane row and that. And I started helping in the salons, working. And then I went to one lady salon, Donna Hilson, actually, in Luton. She's a very, 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 very good hairstylist. And I worked for her for some time and I just watched her. I watched, and I waited for an opportunity to do someone's hair. And one day I got the
Mm.
opportunity to help her, not doing plaits or cane rows, but to just do a basic blow dry with the brush, the old school,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not with the comb and it's straight. No,
Yeah.
this is curling the hair with the brush with the blow dry. And she said to me, "You need to go to college." She said, "You need to go." She goes, "You're very good. Go to college,
Yeah.
learn the
Yeah.
trade." And I did. And I mastered it in a year. I worked really
Wow.
hard, Afro Caribbean and European hair. Boom,
So,
qualified.
so you're designed, you're born grafter and learner, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's like it's just
yeah,
something innate in you that not everybody has that. I'm prepared to start at the bottom because know some people want to step into something, they want to start halfway and just
yeah,
jump in there and learn. You're prepared to go back and start and study the basics to get to where you're going. You don't mind the time because what I see nowadays, people don't have patience. They don't want it. They
no,
want it all now.
yeah,
Not realizing that anytime you see somebody in the spotlight, they've put the hours in.
yeah.
You
They
know,
have.
they've put the
They
hours in.
definitely have.
It didn't happen by chance. They've put the hours in and they've got there on merit. Some people
Yeah,
can get there overnight, but they don't stay there because they
no,
actually haven't put any. There's no substance to them.
none at
You've
all.
actually put the work in. I know it's one of many awards, but it's award that you didn't even know about.
No, and
It's
that's
not
what
like,
makes it special
yeah,
because I
it's not
don't
like the
even know
music
who
one.
nominated me.
Yeah,
I
it's
have
not like a
no
music.
idea.
It's not like on a music award where you know there's a award at the end of it. You can get an
Yeah,
award for this and there's that award.
yeah,
You know, this is social media, something that you didn't even think was out there. You don't know, as you said, you don't know how they even know about me. It's not something I was striving for. It's like they've spotted me or they've been told about me. They've obviously looked at your catalog of work, your body of work, and said, you know what, she's done a lot.
mm,
You know,
yeah,
you've done a lot, and you said you don't know who recommended you and
mm,
nominated you, but you know it's culminating in that, and people be sitting there going, yeah, but it's Yvonne in it. She knows people and this and that, and not realizing, no, 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 no. I
no,
get up and put the graft in and put the hours in
yeah,
because when it started, you was on the radio at the same time.
that's right. Yeah,
Remember, yes, you used to do the radio show and then
yeah,
cut off the radio show and go
yeah,
into
that's right.
into the after dark.
Yeah, that's
Some people
exactly
have
how.
come later on and don't realize all of that. That you were a radio presenter on
Mhm.
Luton Radio. Was it
Yeah,
radio?
Luton Urban Radio. Yeah,
Luton Urban Radio, doing all that because that's how I met you. Because that was your step. I want
that's
to get
right.
onto radio.
That's
When you
real.
came into Premier's, like, yeah, I need
Yeah.
to get into radio, and you was prepared to. You sat down with me, you asked me loads of questions. I know Ibe
Mhm.
has helped as well, and then you got onto
Yeah.
Luton Radio, and then now it's like, okay, that was then, and I've moved past there now. So it's like,
Yeah.
wow. So what's the
I
next
still miss
step for
radio though.
you? You still radio's a thing that it's a bug in it. Once you got it's a bug that it's
Yeah.
there. Once you've been on it, it's very hard to kind of like shove it to the side. So
Yeah.
what's on the horizon for Yvonne Michele? What's on the horizon?
Well, what's on the horizon? I've got my show that's coming up in June.
Mm,
I'm celebrating my birthday. But I have to say this wasn't how it started, right?
mm.
So I because I am putting on another event. It's a gala event which is going to happen on the 24th of September. And it will be in Luton, and it will be about the community. It's to give
Okay.
back to the community after COVID.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say too much about why I'm doing it because,
Yeah.
sometimes there are some bad mind people. They will listen and they will run with your own vision.
Yes,
So
I know. So just put a little bit
I'm
out there,
not
and
going to
you
say too
just
much.
leave it there. Just put the date. Everybody just pencil that date into your diaries, and just put that the 24th of September is going to be a
24th of
gala.
September, yes.
Yeah. So
That's
put it
going
in
to
the
be
date.
a gala event. But the
Mm,
12th of June is my event. It's a live music event. I am going to be headlining. Um, I did a couple of events. I did an event for Windrush last October.
yes, I was going to ask you about
And
Windrush.
yeah, oh yeah, because there's a book,
Yeah,
isn't there?
the book.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I
right.
want
So
to ask about because what people not everybody know about the book because it's not everybody, but how was that? Because you wrote a book during the pandemic, so and you had to go meet everybody, and it's awkward, as well as doing all the after dark stuff.
yeah.
How was that writing that book? What was it? What was it like writing the book about Windrush and getting to know the full unedited version of how we arrived in this country?
Right. So I didn't write any of the stories. The stories were written by the older generation. So I
Hmm.
edited their stories.
But
And
that's what I
so,
mean. Just reading it and then getting the
yeah,
full
reading it and
unedited.
then
How was that?
readjusting and stuff like that. Yeah.
How was
So
that
that
for you reading that?
it was eye opening,
Hmm.
eye opening. And I could feel like some of the stories that I read, I actually felt that I was in the story.
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
actually, feel what they were feeling. And, even in the imagination, I've been to, there was one story in particular, and it's Rudolph Fevier, and he talks about going to the ship from Dominica,
Oh wow.
and he talks about it being dark, and because I've been to Dominica,
Yeah,
I could literally put myself there and like, oh my
yeah.
God, you know, so they went through all of this journey to get to the boat, and just
Hmm.
to get to the boat to come to the UK was what
An
would I
adventure.
say, an adventure in itself.
Hmm.
That- and then being on the boat or the ship was another adventure. And then
Wow.
when they got off, so it was like segments and learning about how they navigated themselves, even though they were frowned upon, they were looked down upon, they
Mm.
were spat at, and all of
Yeah.
these things that they endured. You know, the way in which they wrote, and you know, being of West Indian parentage, they're kind of right as it is.
As they
They're
talk,
right,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, they talk, and so it was very interesting. I mean, there were some stories that a couple of their children had written, and I still kind of had to adapt, but their children had helped them
Yeah.
to pen
Yeah.
it. But we found, like, there was a lady, she was a beauty queen. She'd won a beauty pageant when she
Oh,
came
wow.
here. Yeah, and so it was things like that to find out that not everybody witnessed the same kind of racism
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
as everyone else.
Yeah.
Some felt it and others didn't, and it may have come at a different time. And there was another story of a young girl who was born in Barbados,
Mm.
and she comes over but leaves siblings behind. And
Yeah.
so it's that kind of, you know, why was I taken, and why are my siblings
Yeah. Yeah.
left
Yeah.
behind? You know, all those different questions that a lot of our older generation had that was maybe never answered as well.
Wow. So, and the book's available to buy.
The book's available on Amazon. It's called The Journey Beyond Windrush, and it's an
Mm.
ebook as well. So you could go online on Amazon, just put in the title. You'll see it's a green cover.
Okay.
Yeah, The Journey
Interesting.
Beyond Windrush, and that
Yeah.
forward was written by Lord Boateng as well. So pretty affluent stuff.
Mm.
So that's published. That's my
How did you get to do that? How did they, how did you get nominated for that? Because when you said you were doing it, I'm like, how did Yvonne get nominated out of all the editors? And you're not even an editor, are you?
no,
Like, exactly. So
no.
how did
I'm
they?
not an editor. I'm not a publisher. I'm not any
Yeah.
of those
So how did
things.
they? How did you get selected for that? How did that come about?
I can only say it's favour of God.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because some of the things that I've done, I look back and I think, how did that happen?
Mm.
But I can only say it's got to be favour, because I'm not qualified to do it.
Yeah.
And English wasn't my strongest subject. You heard me tell you, I left school with no real
Yeah. Yeah.
qualifications. So for me to be an editor and publish a book is like, really? Yeah,
That's how God works, isn't it? It makes foolishness of the world. So yeah.
yeah, it's absolutely true. So I okay, so and this is like a bit woo woo anyway. So I'm just going to tell you the story. So basically, um, I had a a limited by guarantee company a few years ago,
Mm.
and I used to work around helping women that had been physically abused, sexually abused, you know, around the
Yeah.
abuse
Yeah.
network. And so there was something that was going on, and they brought all of these collaborators together, and they were like going to do this event. So we were all put on an email, and they were like, "Oh, we're looking for a venue." And I must have typed, "Well, this is a good venue," but you know, it's just something that I knew.
Yeah.
That was said, that done, and the event never really took place.
Okay.
But as a consequence of sending that email, there was a lady on there who noticed my name. So she was the person who was responsible for the funding for the Windrush.
Okay.
And
Wow.
what had happened was, before COVID, they had planned to go on all these excursions, taking the older ones
Yeah.
to different places, you know, taking them back to Tilbury Docks, you know, a bit of
Yeah. Yeah.
nostalgia for
Yeah.
them. But when COVID hit, we were locked down, so we couldn't
Yeah.
go. So they
Mm.
had this pot of funding, and they were like, if you don't use this pot of funding,
As they do.
you're going to
Got
lose it.
Yeah.
So this lady on this email found my name, found my email, and said, "Can I have your number?" It's weird. So she emailed me, and I emailed back my number.
Mm.
You know, we had a conversation, and she said to me that she prayed.
Wow.
This is a woman of faith. And she
Yeah.
said, you know, she asked God to lead her to who could help her. And my name came up.
Wow.
So
Wow.
she contacted me.
Wow.
And when she contacted me, she said, "I need your help." I said, "Okay, what do you need?" And
Yeah.
she told me about the situation, blah, 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 you know, the elderly, blah blah blah. And I said to, and as she's talking, she goes, "Yes, I need your help because I need to find an idea or something like that of what we could do." And I said, "Well, why don't you write a book?" And she was like, "Well, that's a brilliant idea." It's just like, write an anthology book, so you've got different stories,
Mm,
12
mm.
different stories from different people, 12 different people, their stories. You
Yeah.
publish the book.
Wow.
And that's how the book. And then she said, "Okay." So she said, "Could you kind of write, you know, like a proposal?" So I just wrote a proposal and didn't think nothing of it, and then just
Okay.
kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
carried on. And then a
Mm.
couple of months later, she came back to me. She said, "Yeah, so we've got the all clear for that. So are you able to do it?" And I was like,
Yeah. I was just giving you an idea.
"That's it." I was like, she said, "No, no, no. We want you to do it." And so I said, "Okay." Because at
Wow.
that time, nothing. I wasn't working or
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. So I said, "Okay," you know, because everything had shut down. So everything that
Yeah.
I was doing, the hair, all of those things, the teaching had stopped. So I said, "All right then." So I got on and sat in front of the laptop for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and
Like, what am I
hours.
gonna do?
And I just worked out a system and just worked it out. Worked it out, did some research, you know, contacted Ingram Spark and got the barcodes and all the stuff that you need to do to publish a book.
So you had
And
to do all of that,
yeah,
like the publishing everything. Wow.
yeah, yeah. So I
That's
published a book. That was my first book, and I am in the throes of publishing a second, which is my daughter's book. She wrote a book for her dissertation, and it's a
oh,
cookery book.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and it's all because she did media, so it's all of her pictures, her videos of food that she's prepared. She made a book,
Mm.
and so yeah, so we're publishing. It's an ebook at the moment, but we're publishing that into a hard copy.
Oh, fantastic. Look at that.
Yeah,
Doors
yeah,
open that you didn't even it's a doors open that you didn't even know was a door, didn't even know was something, just throwing out ideas.
yeah,
That's why people need to be helpful and stop, doing
yeah,
things. Some people they think of things and they do it. Oh, how much am I going to get paid, or what's going to happen? And it's like, just do it, and
yeah.
then
'Cause
what will
you never
happen
know
will
what
come out
what's
later
going
on.
to
Just put yourself
Absolutely.
in a position. But you just
Yeah,
threw out an idea and look what it manifested into a whole book,
yeah,
a Windrush
yeah,
book,
and learning how to publish it. So it's,
learning
you know,
how to
you edit
publish.
the book. That's
Now
one thing.
you become a publisher,
Yeah.
another
So
string to your bow.
yeah,
The same little girl that left school with nothing. I look at you now
yeah.
doing stuff, man. That's amazing. Well done. Kudos to you. Well done, man.
Thank
And
you.
being and what people don't realize is you're a single parent.
Yes, I am.
You're a
I am
single
indeed.
parent.
Yeah.
Yeah, with 3 children
Yeah.
and a grandson.
Yes.
Yes. Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's the man. I've seen him, so he's the
Yes.
man. He runs Yvonne Ragged. So yeah. I've
Does.
spoken to Yvonne. What people don't realize, I've spoken to Yvonne and he's about, and Yvonne's got to kind of like, I've got to go. My man's here.
Yeah. Yeah. Mason
He's
is a
like, it's like, I need your attention now.
yeah. Yeah. Mason is the man.
He's the man.
He's the king. He is.
Yes, he's
You know,
the
even
man.
my children were like, if say they want me to do something, say because his favourite is like roast lamb, leg of
Oh,
lamb,
oh,
minute lamb with roast with mashed potato and
okay.
broccoli. So
Oh,
if they fancy that, they'll say, "Mason, come ask Mimi to cook," and they'll say, "Mimi," and I'm okay then.
because if they ask, it ain't happening.
Yeah, 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 definitely, definitely.
That's
He is definitely the apple of my eye.
that's
He
good.
was,
That's
yeah.
good. How old is he now?
He's 6,
Oh,
going
yeah.
on 16.
Yes, big
Yeah,
man age. That's big
he
man
is.
age, That's big
Yeah,
man age.
he's a big man now. So,
So
so
the Windrush? I know they're doing something every year for Windrush, aren't they? They're like
they're trying to do something every year, and there's more than one. Um,
different organize. I know there's lots of different organizations doing
but,
stuff for Windrush.
but
It's
I
to me,
think,
it's a bit overkill, too much. Like,
yeah,
I think we should all
I,
put it together.
Absolutely. We're on the same page. I think that
Yeah,
what needs to happen is that there needs to be one hub,
yeah,
for the UK,
yeah, yeah,
and they can have branches off, but there needs to be one
yeah,
that kind of is the hub of
yeah,
it. Because at the end of the day, yes, there's people started all over the country, but I think we are not as powerful because we are disjointed.
yes.
You
So
know,
everyone's
so
doing their
we,
little bits here and
yeah,
there, and some things happen on the same day and all
yeah,
kinds of stuff. So it'd be nice if it's all brought together and have a big event and stuff like that. Because there's going to be other things that other people are doing that you might not even have heard of because they're
yeah,
doing it somewhere else and stuff like that. So how is
absolutely.
that book? Is the book selling well? Is it going well?
Book does well. The book does well. I mean, I published the book, and the proceeds go to the Windrush,
Yeah,
the Windrush Fund, which is connected to Beulah Pentecostal Church.
that church, yes, I
So
know that.
they
Yeah,
actually run that. So I've
yeah,
done all of the work, and I've just kind of handed it
yeah.
over to them. So there's no, whereas a normal publishing house would have some kind of
Right,
monetary
something.
gain,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you get. But this is about those people who have come from the Windrush, and
yeah,
like, unfortunately, both my parents have now passed, so they don't benefit from any of it. But
yeah.
other parents do, other families do, and I think they should. I
But
really
it's good
do.
for. I think it's also good for the younger generation who don't really know much about Windrush. They've heard about it. They haven't, like, their great grandparents have passed on and stuff like that. So they don't really know because the world has changed. Like, well, England's definitely changed from back then. The
Yeah,
80s you could still kind of experienced it. 90s it was dying down. 2000s there's none of it now. So the younger generation don't really know
no,
the hardship and the fight that we had to just to get here to even be doing this.
yeah.
Having our
Well, our
own.
parents would have been able to do this.
No, not at all. They're lucky
Oh,
to
right.
even have lucky to have a room somewhere.
Yeah,
So we've done well, and you've done well. So we're here to celebrate you. So yes,
thank
so
you.
we're celebrating you because you know what it is. We do it when people have gone, so we have to give them the flowers when
Yeah,
they're alive. So you've done, you've brought so many people together through this platform.
yeah.
So like I only knew you. Now I know Sheena, Karen,
Right.
Michelle, Lolly, the two Lollies, Tony, Kellyon, Patrick, and the list goes on and on and on. And everybody else. Sorry if I forgot your name. Kim, Michelle, Herbie. You know,
Hmm.
I didn't know them before, not at all.
Yeah.
Now we brought like a family. Well, people don't fail to realize when we used to finish on After Dark on a Tuesday
Yeah.
night, we'll be on until like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
chatting about everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people don't realize that we'll just stay on chatting, and Theo, the other Theo, he'll be sleeping, he'll be fast
Yeah.
asleep while
Yeah.
we're just rabbiting on because it was COVID. But
Yeah.
what you don't realize, what people don't realize, that's all because of you brought a family together. And you've done that via all these different platforms as well. And you've got your different sites and stuff like that that people can go on. You've got your ladies group, the was
Yeah.
it the pink? All I know is pink. That
I've
Facebook,
got I've got the Gem group. I've got
just Gem group.
yeah, Gem. So that's the global empowerment movement. So my
What's
thing is
that
all
about?
about it. Well, it's all about empowering people,
Mm,
and I wanted to create a group to empower women. So
okay.
and for me, it's global. It's not. It's I don't see myself as a local girl. I see myself as a global person,
Yeah, well, you are.
and I've got the global award.
So yeah, there you go. So, so how many women are in that group? Because I know it's quite a
In
few.
in that group, in that one group, there is about 400 women.
Ooh,
Right, and then I've got the After Dark group, which there's about 700 and maybe 750
is
people
it?
yeah,
Ah,
in the After Dark group.
wow.
And
Okay.
then I've got another group for Gospel Incognito. There's about 3,700 in that group. Then I've got another group, it's called The People's Place, and that's where you can just post your stuff, and it's more gospely, but it's all about that, and you can.
And
There's about 600-700 people in that as well.
and you're the admin for all of these groups.
Yeah, I manage these groups.
Wow. So when do you actually like sleep or put the phone down and stuff. When does that happen? Because that's a lot of groups to be in charge of and managing, and that's a lot of people as well to keep on, in communication with.
Yeah, I mean, some of the other groups I had, I've shut down, and I made these groups before I actually understood how groups work. So,
Okay.
in hindsight, what I should have done is the group that I have for incognito, which is the 3,000
Yeah.
and on, I should have just used that group for everything and just had everybody in the same group and say, right, this is what I'm doing, this is what's going on. So it's a multitude of different things. And if I'm running a paid, if I'm like I do speaking, so if you're
Yeah.
coming on to learn about speaking, I would then have a separate group because that's a paid thing, and so you were in that group.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Does that mean, do you know what I mean? So I've got all these different groups,
Okay.
but I didn't
Yeah. Yeah.
understand it at the beginning. I didn't how it worked.
But I think it might work better how it is, because if it's all in one group, messages will get missed, and it will be different people will be talking, and different things will be
Different
in
things,
there. That's
yeah.
Yeah, that won't be relevant to something. So I think having it separate might easier to kind of manage, I suppose, because this is all about empowerment. This is gospel. This
It's
is
about
this.
speaking
So
gospel.
yeah. So I think if you had it all in one, it'd be confusing.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
the Lord know what He was
Yeah,
doing. Make it, because
it is what it is, So
yeah,
so in terms of like the gospel stuff, I put that in. It's so like when I'm singing, I put that everywhere. I just like
yeah,
put it
yeah.
everywhere. I sing in a restaurant on a Friday night.
What
Put that
restaurant
out
is
sometimes.
that? Tell people where you at, man. People can come and
It's
eat your food.
it's called Punto Italian Restaurant. It's in Rickmansworth,
Okay.
and it's Uxbridge Road, Rickmansworth. So once you get to Uxbridge Road, you'll just see it. It's in a parade of shops. There's a Kentucky nearby, and you'll just see Punto, and I'm there on a Friday night.
Yeah,
But
I
like
see.
every business, there's a struggle right now.
Of
So
course.
I know that a lot of people are worried about their finances. Our bills are more, our shopping's more, everything, utilities are more, and so people are spending less,
Yes,
and
right.
that's hitting the high street. It's hitting the local business. It's really, and if we're not careful, we won't have any of those things.
That's right.
Everything
That's
will
right.
shut down.
Yeah. But the
So we have
government
to.
needs to start up the business and start rising up, because we're not seeing the benefits of them pushing all this money up. So none of
No.
it's making sense. Sheena's put a comment and saying, "Good evening, Yvonne and Theo. You both have a nice sheen. You must be using She's natural."
Get the plug in there, Sheena. Get
Yes,
the plug
go for
in.
it,
Learn
Sheena.
it. Good girl. Yes. Yes, girl. That's
Yes,
how you do it.
the cream is a good cream. Yes, we use She's natural.
Yes, we do.
Sheena, put your contact details how people can get hold of some of the cream. It's
That's
the
right.
best cream going. So yeah, I use it, and yes, look, I got a nice sheen and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And we endorse our own,
Yeah, go for it, man. It's a good
And
product as well.
absolutely. And this is the benefits of, because that's just how I see it. If you're part of the group, you get to plug. You
Yeah.
get, if Sheena's in my academy. So there you go. She's actually in the GEM Academy.
Okay.
And so we meet fortnightly, and we look at business, and we look at how to grow your business, how to expand, and all of those things.
And it's only for women.
It is at the moment, but I'm looking at, over the last couple of days, I've been looking and thinking, you know what, I might open this up for men, because men are always asking me, you only cater for women. And I'll work with men privately, but they want to be part of the group. So it just depends on how the women feel. If they're open to it, then I'll gladly.
Woman, open up, man, and stop being so private. But how do women join it? And it's she'snaturalproducts.com. So if anyone's looking at that, that's the way to get the cream. So go and check it out. Good cream. I will testify to it. My son's got eczema, and he uses it, and it doesn't affect his skin as well. And he's got eczema quite bad.
Wow.
So
It's pretty. My skin look pretty, you see?
Yeah, my skin look pretty to look. Yes. So how do people get into the GEM Academy? How do How is it like? Is
You
it by invitation or is it they have to go on Facebook and
all they need to do really is message me, and I'll send them the link, and then
okay,
they can join. Because how I used to do it, I only used to open the academy at certain times of the year.
okay,
But now I'm not doing it that way. I'm just, this is what the academy is. And if it sounds like it's something that you want to join, then you can join. And we look at the whole 360 degrees of life and business. Because my belief is
mm,
that if your life is chaotic, it, your business is going to be chaotic.
yeah,
So it's about having that harmony between life and business. And so we look at how I know we look at individual businesses because no two businesses are the same.
no,
And then we start to look at how we model, what kind of business model do you need for your business to make it
yeah,
thrive? And I
okay,
think, Sheena's a testament to that. Her business is growing and it's
yeah.
thriving and it's growing and growing and growing, and it will continue to grow, um, as one that's in the academy. I think it's been beneficial, for
It
Sheena.
helps coming with somebody if you don't have that kind of background as well, stuff, to come and
Yeah,
get some help from somebody, and it's not like you have to go a million miles away meet somebody that doesn't understand you, especially being, I know it's not only for black women, but especially being a black woman as well. And this,
yeah,
black women are, black, we already seem as low, but and then women are seen as second class anyway. So black women are seen as the lowest of the low.
yeah,
So they find it hard. So to come together as women and to empower each other to do that's a good thing. And so yeah, so ladies, join
yeah,
up if you've got business ideas, and even if it's just to encourage yourself. Even if you haven't got a
yeah.
business idea, it's just to come together and female empowerment.
Absolutely. It's about holding each
We need
other
some male
accountable as
empowerment.
well.
Yeah,
You've got
yeah.
to in business. You need an accountability partner, and
Mm,
it's really important because you can make plans. I've got my wall planner up here, and I've got certain things in, and those dates can stay up there. But unless I'm holding myself accountable or have an accountability partner, those dates will just be up there, and I'll just carry on doing what
yeah,
I'm doing. So
yeah.
it's really important. And when you were talking about for black women, it's really,
Mm,
really important for us to come together. And it's one of the reasons why I started like the R retreat and having speakers come,
yeah,
is because the R retreat is grown. The R retreat will always be the R retreat, but it will be more of a retreat. So it will be more
yeah.
like, you're being pampered, but that's the retreat. I'm The conference is going to be called the Empower. It's the Empowered, and I've started doing virtual events first. So I did a virtual event last month. We had 16, 16 speakers. It was 15
Okay,
speakers. I made the 16th speaker, and it was a whole
okay.
day event online, and it was
Mm,
really, really good. 6.5 hours of pure content. That's what we've
that's a
got.
lot.
That's what. And Sheena spoke at that. She spoke at,
Okay.
So what I'm creating is a platform for women per se,
Mm,
and it is not just for black women, but it is for black women. So
yes.
I want to make that statement again. It's not just for black women,
Yeah,
but
I
it
know.
is for black
But it
women,
is. Yeah.
because as a speaker myself, whenever I'm called to speak, and I get paid to speak, and
Mm,
sometimes I pay to speak, but most times I get paid to speak. And if I'm going somewhere, I can almost guarantee I'm the only black speaker,
yeah.
male or
Yeah.
female. I'm the only
Yeah.
one.
Never.
And
They never have two of us in one spot.
no, no.
Mm,
And some of the people who have got businesses will never ever get the opportunity to be a speaker because they don't know the criteria of what it takes to be a
yeah.
platform keynote speaker. So
Yeah.
what I've created is is I've created a course to help, anyone, whether you're an author, whether you're a business owner, whether you might just started doing, I don't know, anesthetics, or like wrinkles or whatever it is your business is, but you want to speak about it. What I do is I help you to create your message, And then from there, I then give you a platform to speak about what you're doing. So
Okay.
does that make sense?
Yeah, no,
And
it's
that's,
making them get confidence, isn't it?
yeah, so I'm helping them to build their message, become more confident about their message and their business, and then giving them the platform to speak about it. And then once they're on that platform, they have their video done, they have their pictures taken
Oh
in
wow.
action. So once they've got that, they're then on the journey to being a paid speaker. Because
Mm.
without these things, without a show reel, you're never going to get paid to be a
Yeah, yeah,
speaker.
yeah. That's right.
It's just not going to
That's right.
happen.
Because no one's seen you, isn't it? So they don't know who you are. You can't just rock up and say I'm a speaker. I see
Yeah.
Joanne Brown has says, "Hi Yvonne and guests. Black women are the backbone of the human race. It's like a spoiled child who doesn't respect his parent. We are taken for granted because we are too strong." You're right. They're too strong. And you know what? You're right, Joanne. You are the backbones of the human race. And I
Yeah.
don't think we're going to survive without black women. But they think they can, but not realizing that everybody follows suit. When I see other races now, they got their hair, they're getting their lips done, they're getting their bums, they're getting their breasts, they're getting everything done. So it's quite funny considering that nobody likes you.
Well, this is it. Everybody wants to be us.
Yeah,
Did I say that out loud? Okay.
yeah, you did. But it's all
Everybody
good.
wants.
They do. I see it when I go out to the shops. I'm seeing ladies, got lips, and I'm like, it doesn't look right, but I know why you got the lips. 10 years ago, you
Yeah.
used to get cursor lips and bums
Yeah,
and noses and all that. Now
you
everybody wants it.
rubber lips and your
Yeah,
lip look like rubber, and now everybody want plump lips, plump bottom. Everybody want. Look, we all want what we haven't got.
yes, it's true.
We have, in terms of women, we were lured into a false sense of security with the straightening of the hair, because
Yes.
we thought that to be accepted we had to have straight hair, to
Mm,
fit in with the new
yeah.
norm of being in a European country
European
or an
country.
American
Yes, right.
country,
Mm,
a white country, because our hair is
mm,
significantly different. But
yes.
now we're beginning to embrace who we are, our
That's right.
strength, our
Hmm.
culture, and love it. I'm sure we've all seen at some stage the white doll, black doll syndrome, of where
Mm,
these dolls were presented to children and they would say the black one is ugly and the white one is
yeah, yeah,
pretty.
yeah, yeah.
But now I think we're in a place where we're actually beginning to embrace who we are,
Yes.
and we see more and more black people starting their own businesses. And this is why I've created these platforms for us to be able to stand. And when I talk about doing this gala thing, this gala evening in September, I'm for me, I'm just seeing how this thing goes, because if this is successful, then because I know I can do lots of different things. I've put on events in Barbados, for instance. Just went there,
Mm,
put
mm,
on an event, and came back home. But if this event goes well, then that tells me that I can then take the speaking platform even bigger.
yeah.
So everything that I do it's given me an insight to the next thing that I can do. And
Yeah.
so I've seen people in the O2 put on events, speaking events. Why can't I
Mm,
do that?
yeah.
I can do that.
So you
But
can.
it's the baby steps. So I'm like working out, where's the team? Who are the team? How are we going to do this? How are we going to make this work? I've seen people like Andy Harrington, who is just an ordinary man.
Met
He's a
him.
white man, but he's
Yeah, I
an
met him.
ordinary man. Yeah.
Yeah, I met him.
And he went to see Anthony Robbins. His
Yeah.
life changed when he went to see Anthony Robbins. And he actually became a carbon copy of Anthony Robbins.
Definitely, definitely. I've met
Every
him.
blessed
I've been to one of his things in central London.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. He
Yeah.
speaks about Anthony Robbins glowingly as well. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Because he has such an impact. He
yeah,
really, as a speaker, is an amazing speaker. He has such an impact, and the transformations that he's able to navigate in that room is remarkable, right?
mm,
So my thing is, if he can do it and literally be a carbon copy of Anthony Robbins and
yeah,
get away with it and do it, then
Yeah.
I can look at him and see the events that he's put on as a promoter. Because to speak on his stage, you're talking about 2.5 grand for like 10
Wow.
minutes,
10 minutes. That's right.
10 minutes, right?
Mm.
But we're talking the O2. We're talking
Yeah.
big stages. We're talking 6,000 people.
And you see, the beauty of how you're thinking is the fact that, as I said earlier, you don't mind starting off small and learning how to do
Yeah.
it. Where some people want to come in and their first thing is, I'm gonna go straight in and emulate what he's done, not realizing there's a method and a process behind it. He didn't just jump in straight in at the O2. He developed it, but because people, like to see the end result, they just want to jump in and do it. But your background throughout your whole life, you've always started off from the ground up. You never just jumped in. And even if you did get a taste at the top, you prepared to go back down and say,
Yeah.
well, let me learn the process for myself so I can get
Yeah.
it. Remember when we started this, you weren't good on all of this stuff. If I said to you 2 years ago, you
It'll be look like this. You,
have
you're breaking up a bit.
StreamYard. Now you accomplished like just pressing buttons like it's nothing.
Yeah. But you're right, because,
with
when we look
glasses
back at
half
the old
down.
videos, you're breaking up a little bit. When you look back on the old videos, even the backdrop here, even this room, when I started in this room, there was a bed in here, there was a wardrobe in here, there were cuddly toys, and it was the little spare room brought down, little, the room that you push everything in. That's what this room was. And so I got like a black cloth, and I put that over the bed to make it look like a table. I had a suitcase, and I put the suitcase on its side, and I put books on it to make it look like a bookcase. I put a little flowers. Actually, you can probably see the orange flower, one of the orange flowers in the background. You can probably see it. And I just tried to make it look like it was something. My desk was an old chest of drawers. I took out the drawers and left the frame and pushed my foot underneath it. And that was my desk. And that was at the beginning of lockdown. So I know that Theo's struggling with the internet at the moment. So I'll just keep talking. Oh, there we go. All right. So you might need to, hold on, let me take this. Yeah. And I will remove out there. Okay. That's it. You're back. Right. So yeah, so if you look at the old stuff, you'll see how, because I was watching, because you get Facebook, the old
memories.
stuff come up.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow, look at how it looked to how it looks now. Look at the lighting, the camera angles, everything. Because you have to learn. You really, I know I'm like that. I don't. If the light's coming in, I'm like, why is it? So I'm on and I'm researching. Why is the light happening like this? Why is that happening like that? What do I need to do? I got myself a different webcam. Yeah, and lights. I've got ring lights. I've got like ring lights for days. I've got ring lights everywhere.
but that just shows that. But that's just showing us a part of who you are. As Sheena says, you're a grafter, because some people, they're not humble enough to take that backward step and learn something. I'm Yvonne Michele. I shouldn't have to do all this. Someone else should do it, and I should just take the glory and stuff like that. You're prepared to roll up your sleeve, get your hands dirty, make the mistakes, fumble, and eventually find a way through.
Absolutely.
And that's why you are where you are, and becoming more and more successful and being internationally recognized with a big international award, because that's a global award. It's not a UK award. It's global.
No, it's a global award.
It's a global award. So that means you're known globally.
And it's true, because it was just the other day that I spoke on an American. It's funny how because like I've got links in Canada, links in America, links in Germany. I've got so many different links now because of just being online, just doing what I do. And I do want to say though, in terms of what you're saying, in terms of doing things and putting things together, I think this is one of the reasons why Theo at MediaNet jumped on when he did, because he could see that I had passion. He knew I was doing it, and he knew I was doing Zoom, and I was learning. I'd had StreamYard already, and I'd already was moving over. And he was like, "Do you know what? Let me do the back end for you, so that you can concentrate on doing the presenting, that you don't have to be fiddling about." And it really helped. It really helped. And then had the opportunity to, do you remember the Love Zone? Doing the Love Zone. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah. Doing that show, the Love. And I looked at that and I thought, you know what? That was it had such potential.
Yeah, but you see, everything is for a season, isn't it? It was done at a time just to give you a taste of what can become. Theo came on at the time to help you to be able to do what you did. Everybody comes in at the time, they chip in, some stay in, some stay out, but it's all part of it. And that's part of your growth as well, because you are the package, isn't it? You are the package. So you're learning all these different things, which is, giving you different strings to your bow. And then you can, and the good thing about it is the fact that you then disseminate it out to others. You don't just keep it to yourself. Like, it's all about me. You've got all the different groups. You're helping Sheena and over 300 other women to empower themselves. So it's not like I'm gaining all this knowledge so I can be successful. You're trying to bring everybody with you.
Everybody in, yeah, definitely.
You're prepared to kick down the door, and then others can steam in and do what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, even like this. I mean, say that again.
Not a lot of people want to do that. Not a lot of women or men want to do that. They don't want to. They want to have it all for themselves, and they want to be the big shot. And I sit at the king or the queen of the throne, and come and bow at my feet, and I'm, as they call it, the gatekeeper. But you're like, no. Everybody's coming in. I'm not kicking down the gate by myself. Everybody's kicking down the gate. So.
Yeah, and that's very much me. Somebody was saying that to me the other day. They were saying to me, they were actually telling me what my problem is. They're like, the problem with you, Yvonne Michele, is that you want to bring everybody with you.
Yeah.
And you can't.
No.
Not everybody can come on your journey.
No.
And I'm like, well, and I'm like, no, you need to understand that you can't bring everybody on your journey.
Not everybody. And it's not for everybody.
Yeah, it's not.
I think I said it to you earlier today. The vision's with you.
Yeah.
So not everybody's going to get the vision, and not everybody's going to be part of it. But the ones that will get it will be part of it in the long run.
Yeah.
And people will come on and drop off, and might be upset and whatever. But you just got to keep it going. Keep it moving.
Got to keep it moving and keep it going. Yeah.
So Miss Yvonne, before we shut down and stuff, tell people how they can get onto the social medias, how they can get in touch with you, because I know people want to do that. They want to
I'm all over.
Yeah, because you're everywhere.
I am.
Should I just type in Yvonne Michele and then everything pops up, or is there different?
They can. Hold on. I'm just gonna put something right at the bottom of it. I'm going to say, you can get it all of me because I have something. Oh, have I taken?
Because you do private one-to-one as well, isn't it?
I do. So let me just put it. I will just do something really quickly. So you can get a hold of me. You can book a 15-minute complimentary session with me. I'm going to put up my details in a momento. I'm just going to bring this up. And because I would really love to, and I really love speaking to people, as you know, and I'd love to jump on a call. So with anybody who, male or female, who feels that they need to move forward in their life, that's me. That's how I see things. Because I just think that, hold on, there we go. There we go.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to get in touch, there's everyone's details scrolling along the bottom.
It's scrolling on the bottom.
And as Sheena says, you're such an inspiring person who has helped me a hell of a lot and continue to do so. And I know there's countless other women that can testify to
Thank
that as
you.
well.
Thank
So
you.
to keep doing what you're doing. I remember, as I said, but I met you 3 years ago, 4 years
Mm.
ago.
It was before pandemic, wasn't it?
We met you about a year, at least a year before pandemic.
Yeah.
So, and I remember Yvonne coming in the boots. I'm like boots.
Because I was in the gig that night, wasn't
Just getting
I?
to a gig straight after that night. Yeah, you came in, and me being here and seeing you manifest into who you are now, to where you are now, in such a short period of time, because it was only 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And to manifest to like, and then it was just to be a radio presenter. It
Yeah.
was just to be a radio presenter. Like, I want to get on the radio, and you was already on it, but you wanted to go to the next one.
I wanted to go to the next level. That's
I
right.
remember we spoke on the thing, and you said how, what kind of, I think you had to present them like a playlist or show reel or something like that. You had to present, and we had a discussion about it, and then you got onto Luton Urban Radio. You was doing that every morning, or was it was a morning show, right?
It was no, it was an evening show.
Evening show.
Yeah, but because we went on to the pandemic, there were slots that because it wasn't on in the daytime really. It was just evening. But when the pandemic hit, I did more.
And then look now to being who you are. So the question I know many people want to do is, what does Yvonne do to relax, to downtime? Do you have downtime? Do you even know what that is? Do you actually know what downtime is, like relaxation? And I know you have a hot tub, which you'd like to tell everybody about your hot tub.
Yeah. So the hot tub
what do you do? What do you do to take yourself away from all this social media and everything?
I shut the door. I shut the door. I'm going to be honest. It's been very challenging since everything's been locked down and I've been hit. This year itself, this 2022, has probably been the most challenging year that I've had, and we're not even locked down.
Wow.
If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So everything. I'm at home, and I'm not. Before the lockdown, I wasn't used to being at home. I was out doing what I'm doing. Now I'm home. Everything is about, here. And so, and because there's so many different issues going on around here, it's been really, really difficult. However, I say all that to say that my belief is, that God never gives us more than we can bear. Now, we may feel that we can't bear it, but sometimes we just have to dig a little bit deeper. And in all of the situation that I'm going through with this building work over here, this massive building work over here, with this stalker situation going on as well, the one thing that I haven't asked God for is why. My question to God is, what is the lesson? Because I do believe that everything that we go through has a purpose. And I know that there's a purpose and a plan for my life. I know God has put me on this earth to do things. He told me, He sent me here to bring new life into dead situations.
Amen.
That's what He told me. And so for me, when I see this going on, I see this as a distraction. And I see this as, you want my mind over here because I need to do something over here. And over here is where God gets glory. Over here, He doesn't get anything. And so I have to take my focus away from all of the stuff that's going on around me and just focus on what my calling is. And my calling is to help the widows, it's to feed the children, it's to heal the brokenness. It's those that's what I've been called to do. And I know that that's coming through my voice. So it's coming through my voice in speaking, it's coming through my voice in singing. And so now where I am today is, before I spoke to you, Theo, I was speaking to a friend of mine to get some tracks done. I'm going to lay down some tracks because I believe that there's healing to come from my voice. And I believe that, like, No, never before. I never believed that I had a gift to sing. I always put everybody else and thought everybody else's voice was better. But I now know that when I sing, I remember having a dream, and there's a lady who's been contacting me recently, and I don't remember her, but she remembers me. And it's weird because she's telling me things that's igniting my memory from when I was small. Oh, Theo's gone. He'll be back. So I'm just gonna say this. So this lady has has been telling me. She said to me, she told me about a dream that I had when I was younger, and I said to her, I still dream. I still see things. I am a seer, and I know that. My grandmother was a seer. My mother was a seer, and I am a seer. And so I know that I had this dream. Let me just go back to this dream. And in this dream, my mouth turned into a trumpet, right? Now, I know that there is power in what I say, and there is power in what I sing. There is power in what I do. And so for me, it's now about the purpose, the journey, and why I'm here. Before the Lord takes me, yeah, I've got work to do, and that is to help others to find their voice. That is to help others to know their worth. That is to help others to know that they are significant. That's what I'm here to do. My purpose is to elevate. My purpose is to empower. My purpose is to educate. That's my purpose, and that's exactly what I intend to do. So, you know, I'm blessed to know all of these people. I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Sheena's saying, Amen. Focus. Focus is the main thing. And one of the things, my focus with all of the things that's been going on over the last 6 months, my focus hasn't been on what I'm supposed to do. All hell's been breaking loose, but now my focus is set. And my focus today, something snapped in my spirit. And I said, enough is enough. No longer will I allow anybody to dampen me, to quiet me, to make me feel less than who I am, because the only person that can do that is me, and I'm not having anybody come and do that to me again. And so, God's plan, his purpose must prevail. He must prevail. Hello.
My laptop decided it's going to restart itself. I've had enough. I'm going to restart.
That's all
So
right.
it's
It's
right.
fine. We can chat forever. So
Nah,
I
it's
just,
all good, man. That's what you've been blessed with.
yeah.
So, and you're using your talents. Before we go, um, you was talking about God's purpose and God's plans, and I was meant to say something to you. Was doing it. It was the fact that your journey, as I say to everybody, is not for you.
It's not.
It's your testimony which
Mm,
will inspire ones behind you or come in who are in that
mhm.
situation. So as I said, you're a single mother. So some single mothers like, how did you manage? You've
Mhm.
got a testimony for that.
Yeah.
Some aspiring singers, how did you got a testimony for that? And business, you got a testimony as you're doing with the gem. You got so many testimonies that you can help. So as you said, you never ask why, because
No,
your purpose is just
never.
to do.
It's
And
what is the lesson? What is
and
the
the
lesson
lesson
for
is
me to
just
learn in
continue
this?
to do. Just continue
Yeah.
to be you. Just continue to be you and continue to be a blessing and just keep smiling. Yes, that big smile. I knew you had to laugh. I knew you couldn't hold it.
Yes, I will keep smiling. I just want people to be encouraged. And for those of you who are listening today, and for those of you who are watching on the replay, what I want to encourage you and say is this: it doesn't. Don't look at your situation for what it is. Always see beyond it, because what you see is not what's there. There is more in you than what you can even see. And you have to trust in who you are to move forward, and just keep moving, just keep moving, just keep believing that you are able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you could ask or even think. There is power in you, and all you have to do is activate that power and move forward. And when I say activate, your activation of your power is an action. That's it. It's not nothing in particular. It's nothing
Yeah.
mind blowing. It's just one small action. And that's the difference. That's what's changed me, is that I'm not willing to sit back on my laurels and wait. I'm like, what do I need to do? Let's do this now. Let's get on with it. Let's do it. Take a risk.
Yeah.
If you
Step out.
fall on your face, you get back up in it.
Yeah.
You know, see,
You've
I'm a
done it
nurse
many
for that.
times
It don't
before.
matter.
Yeah,
You
you've
know what
done
I
it
mean?
many times before. Did you read out God's Girl's comment about this conversation was really inspiring? Your journey shows where humble beginnings mixed with passion can take you. I love your attitude to learning too. Thank you for keeping it real. We need more. Beautiful.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you
beautiful.
so much. I'm so glad that, I just want people to know what I do is not rocket science. It's
Yeah.
nothing that you can't do. Everybody can do what I do. Every single person on this planet. You just have to have a little bit of belief and be willing to fail. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean? You know how much time my foot dropped up? Look, if I take off this glass, mind you, the glasses. See, the glasses is giving me a bit of a bridge on my nose because my nose is quite flat because I drop on my face so many times. Bam, bam, bam. But the
Get back
little
up again,
glasses,
man.
the glasses give me a little bridge for my nose. So, you have to. As Gina says, life is
Life's
about
about
taking
taking
risks for real, and
risks
you
for
have
real.
to.
That's right. It's about taking risks.
But remember this: we're all broken.
Hmm.
I was broken from the age of 11.
Yeah.
Something was ripped away from me. My innocence was taken, and I've
Mm.
never been able to get that back. But what I do have now is the power of the Holy Spirit. That's what I have.
Amen.
And that's what I
Amen.
use. So even though what the enemy meant for my demise, God
Yeah.
has multiplied
Yeah.
me and has given me
Mm.
such a spirit. And the same thing that He's done for me, He can do for you. You just got to
That's right.
trust.
That's
Just
right.
trust.
That's
That's
right.
all you need to do. Trust that it's available to you too. That's
Amen.
it.
Wow, Yvonne, that's a beautiful way to end. Thank you for being so open today
Thank
and
you.
just giving us
Thank
a
you for
little
taking
insight.
over the show.
Nah, well, you know me.
No, it's been lovely. It's
No,
made a lovely change for me, actually.
yeah, it's nice to get a little insight and a bit back more to you because everyone just sees you sitting there and doing your thing and being all in control and having all the questions and managing us on the air and interviewing everybody, but no one gets to know who is sitting in the chair. How did they get there?
Mm.
So it's just nice to get a little insight into your backstory. You know, what's been holding you up, the pillar behind you, so the fire behind you. So yeah, it's nice. It's nice. So thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you for
It's all.
allowing us into you are.
Thank you. Thank you for asking the question. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and supporting. I am going to say this, though. You see the After Dark show? The After Dark show is a powerful show. And the After Dark show, I have been approached by a major TV network.
Oh,
I don't know if I've said this to you guys before.
no, you haven't.
The only thing that stops this show from going mainstream is the numbers.
Mm,
So I need you guys to support. We need the support because there is no other show on the mainstream like this. There is no other show that caters for the age group that we are, the
no, there isn't.
demographic that we
Yeah,
are. There is nothing. And if we get the numbers up on social media, and I'm talking 3,000 plus per week, this would go mainstream because they
mm.
like the concept. So I'm asking. I don't know how else to ask. I don't know.
Ask.
I
If you
don't know
don't
how.
ask, you don't get in it.
Yeah. So guys, if you are listening, and I know there's only a few of you on there tonight, but it only takes a few of us to message our friends and say, look, we need to look at this program and we need to help it move forward.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
If you've got a friend who's famous that will endorse the show, that's even better.
Yeah.
Anybody you can find to endorse it. I'm just saying, because like you say, if you don't ask,
If you
you
don't
don't
ask, you
get.
don't get. People don't know what you want or what you need, isn't it? If you don't say
Yeah.
anything.
I want my own show. I want my own mainstream show on a major network so that we can be empowered on a bigger scale.
Bigger scale, that's right.
Yeah, because it's really not about me, but it's about us. It's about what we can do collectively.
Yeah.
If we
And we can
stick
do a
together.
lot. We can do a lot. Unity is strength, as they say. So let's try and
Absolutely.
unify and do our thing. But it will happen.
It will. In the
As your
time.
journey is testament to that, it will happen. So,
Okay. All right. So, I think we've come to the end. So Thea, I'm gonna leave you to end the show. Knowing that we'll be back on the 7th of June.
7th of June.
Yeah,
so we're back. Is it going to just be? Do you know what kind of show it's going to be, or you haven't thought about it yet? Or
it's going to be. We're still carrying on with the family actually, because we started a series to do with the family dynamics. So we're going to be continuing with that, and we're going to be looking at how we stay safe. Because as I say, I've got that old issue as well, to stay safe and maintain our safety as women. But not only women, but men need to stay safe too.
Everybody.
And how we navigate around that. It's your story. It's the people's story. This is about the people. I do have some red letters as well, so I might come back with a red letter.
Yeah, I like red letters.
So do I. Some of these are hot, man. Some of these are real hot.
Yeah, I like red letters. But thank you everybody for tuning in. If you're listening on playback, thank you for listening in. You can still put your comments on there as well. We can always read them back. Thank you, Sheena. Thank you, God's Girl. Thank you, Joanne Brown, for your comments. It's been a blessing. And thanks, Yvonne, for opening up and sharing with us. So we'll be back on the 5th of June. See you then. Have a fantastic and God bless night and a God bless week. Stay blessed, stay safe. And let's enjoy some sun. Let's pray for some sun, and let's have some sun so we can have some sunshine. And don't forget She's Natural Cream.com. Let me see the site. Is it She's Natural? Where is it again? Let me see where it is at. Where is it? There you go. She's Naturalproducts.com. Make sure you support and get your creams. I'm a testament to it. Look at me, I'm looking all brown. I'm up out of here. God bless you guys. Have a good night. Ciao.